As we know that when we talk about Ayurveda, normally we think that Ayurveda is simply some medicinal plants, that's all. Or some means the tips from Dadi Nani, grandmothers. But it is a science derived from Vedas, and the literal meaning of Ayurveda is, it is composed of two, Ayu and the Veda. Ayu is the life, Veda is the science. So it is a science of life. And when we talk about the life, it is not simply disease. Lot of things means it includes each and every aspect of our life. So let us see that whether it may be the health, the physical health, mental health, spiritual health, social health, interpersonal relationship, your business, a lot of things are there in our life, and Ayurveda is there to offer solution for all the problems. So yes, so it is actually the Ayurveda is the manual of life. So as you know that when you purchase any new gadget, you are having the manual so that you can operate your gadget effectively. So here Ayurveda knowledge contains and works just like your manual. If you are aware about the things, you can operate your body, your mind, your soul, and lot of other things which are connected with all these. So actually it deals with 6 dimensions. It may be the physical, social, spiritual, emotional. So all these dimensions, they fall under the purview of Ayurveda. Now, let us think that Guruji told about what we are, but I am having a question for you, what we are made of. Normally it is said that we are made up of a lot of water, the bones, the flesh, and several other things. But think, with what material all these, whether the water, the flesh, blood, or anything that is made up of. So I think you might have learned or heard about the periodic table in the chemistry, and that table contains means 100 something elements, and those elements are basically responsible for any substance existing in this world. But again, those elements, if you just go at the micro level, we are having 5 elements. So what are these 5 elements? I think the whole basis of philosophy and the Ayurveda, it used to exist. So let us see. The first is the space element. We say that Akash. Second is the air element, Vayu. Third is the fire element, Agni or Tej. Then the Jal or the water element. And the final is earth element. So here this particular sequence is also having meaning. It starts from space and ends on earth. And it is exactly replicating the evolution of this universe also. If you just study the science and go back, how this universe was evolved, you will see that the first element which come into existence was the space. Now you can recall how this earth is available to use right now, how it passes with the phase, because you know that the first the space, then air required, third is fire. We know that this earth was a ball of burning. It was burning, then it cooled down due to water, and ultimately now it is fit for life. Actually, we are searching life in different planets. Here is the secret from Veda that any planet or any place where you can find out these 5 elements, you can think about life. So it is just impossible to have a life at any place without these combination of these 5 basic elements. So at the biological level, because ultimately these elements are there, but as a human being or as a living structure, first we have to think about the body. And of course connected is our mind, soul, and so many other things. So here with the dominancy, because when there is a dominancy of the space and air element, Vata comes into existence in our body. Space first and second, space and air, so Vata is there. Second, Pitta, you just see that it is fire and water. That is Pitta. I will just show you how these biological entities, they used to work in our body. And the third one is Kapha, that is having dominancy of water and earth element. So it is very interesting here, because we are learning here Sattva, Rajatam, 3 gunas. It is very interesting because here we say these are dosas. So they work at physical level. Of course, they are also linked with the mental aspect. But when we talk about the gunas, totally different meaning. Guna means the properties. Means mostly we think about the positive one. They are linked with the mind. But here, these dosas, the literal meaning of dosa is Dusyanti iti dosa, ready to vitiate. Means every time they tend to go towards the wrong direction, you have to hold it. And if you are not able to hold it, ultimately you are going to fall in. Diseases may occur. So this is simple formula. The best remedy is to make them in balance. When we say what is the definition of health or who is healthy, very beautiful definition is there in Ayurveda. Samadosha, Samagnisha, Samadhatu, Malakriya, प्रसन्न इंद्रिय आत्म संयोगे धारी जीवितम. जो जीवित है और जो हेल्दी, सॉरी आई जस्ट चेंज द ट्रैक, द पर्सन हु इज लाइव एंड हेल्दी, his or her dosas must be in balanced form. Some dosa, some agni. Agni means biological fire. So it is not simply the digestive fire. We consider the fire at 13 levels. Because when you go for the physiological aspect, we are having tissues. So every tissue is requiring a specific type of metabolism. We are having the Mahabhuta, these 5 basic elements. So ultimately, whatever we are eating, it has to be converted into these basic elements. So for them, again, a specific type of fire is required. So it makes 13. So when we are working, I think that is a very essential component to keep ourselves healthy, to think about the Agni. Some dosa, some Agnishta, some Dhatu Malakriya. Dhatus are tissues. So we consider that in our body we are having 7 tissue types. Tissues means specific nature of cells, just like our heart. So our heart is having a specific type of cells. So group of cells is known as tissues. When we talk about our brain, so brain is also having a different type of cells. So it is classified under 7 categories. So they should be, or they must be, in a balanced state. Samadhatu Malakriya means when there is a process of metabolism, there are 2 parts. One is the finished product, second is the wastage or waste material. So even the waste material, normally we think that when the waste is there, it should be removed completely. But for our body, even certain quantity of waste is required to maintain it. Just like I will give you the example. When you go for blood test, and you know that urea is the byproduct of protein. When you take protein in diet, ultimately it is break down into urea and it is a waste material. It has to be removed. But you know that when you just see the report, so up to 40 milligram per deciliter urea is required, otherwise if it is less, you can have different problems. So a balance is required. Then prasanna atma indri man. Prasanna means the happy. Happy means healthy. Atma, the supreme. Indri means the senses, and the mana. Because you know that in the morning session, very rightly told, because we are having 5, total 10 senses, 5 karmendri, 5 gyanendri. And the the mind it is also indri. And that used to coordinate between these 5 set of 5 Gyanendri and 5 Karmendris. So we are born with a specific combination of these 3, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So these are Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So these are dosas and they are considered as the pillar of our body and mind. And here to support those pillars, there are sub-pillars, the sleep, diet, sleep and regulated life practices. The first thing is diet, because this whole machinery, body and mind that used to work with the fuel which we receive through diet. So that's why it is so important. And of course, yesterday we talked about a lot about the sleep, the importance of sleep. We will see all these later slides. And regulated life practices. Means everything you can enjoy, but that should be in a regulated format. Okay. Now I think you might be thinking that I'm shifting from Ayurveda to computer science. Yeah, so suppose you are having computer, you want to purchase a computer. So first component is the CPU. You will buy CPU. Whether you are having CPU, you are going to work, you can start working with the computer? No. because that will require input and output devices. You will require a keyboard or mouse or just to have the display, whatever you are just doing the work, you are getting a display. So input and output devices, that is required. So that means now this computer must work. Whether it will work, it will not work. What is lacking? We need software. It requires software also. So now we are having the CPU, input and output devices and software. It will work? Yes, very right. It needs connection of electricity. So just see why I have shown this slide. When we think about life, there are 4 requirements: Sharir, Indri, Man and Atma. Sharir means the physical body. Because when you think about life, there is the first requirement, there must be some physical structure in which you can infuse your life. The second is Indriya, because body must communicate with the external world. So that's why our Indriyas, they used to work as our input devices. And then suppose we are getting information from this world, but when the information reaches to our mind, there is a processing. And processing, this work is allocated with the software. So our mind is actually a software. It is well programmed and it works accordingly. Because simply what Guruji told, you have to program your mind, means if it is programmed in a specific manner, you can get the response accordingly. So it is simply the programming. Then third, the conscious factors. The last one, the conscious factor, the Atma. So when these all components, 4 components are there, we can think about life. So that means physical body, senses, mind, and conscious factor. That makes the life. Now, when we talk about the life, so our smallest unit of life is our cell. So just see all these structures you will see here also. Every cell is having a physical body. Every cell is having senses, all the 5 senses. Every cell is having, every cell smell, every cell see, every cell, because you know that the methodology is different. Because every cell is having metabolism, we know that in technical cellular metabolism. And that means every cell requires mind. That's why we say the cell memory. Because mind puts logic. And without logic, the machine, it is impossible to work. Because at what time or what situation, it has to be react in a specific way. So we can't separate these two, the mind and body. Because when we are treating body, we are taking care of mind, and when we are dealing with the mind, we are taking care of our body. And you know that if you are having the list of several diseases, you will find that even more than 80% diseases, though they are physical diseases, but those diseases are having mental features. 80%. So that's why we can't ignore this aspect, and this is the strength of Ayurveda. Because when we, of course, every system is a nice system, but every system is having some limitation and strength. So here the concept or approach of Ayurveda is holistic approach. So here Ayurveda takes care of your physical body, mind, and of course the soul thought. Because that is the conscious factor. Without that we can't think about life. So here when we regulate these Vata, Pitta and Kapha, ultimately we are handling with 5 basic elements at every level. There is a concept that what is in the universe that is with us. Means actually every human being is replica of this universe. And we are well connected with this universe. And this connection is formed by these 5 basic elements. Through air, through space, through water, through fire, through earth element. So that means we can't ignore the environment. Now the input devices, because whatever information we receive that is from our indriyas, 5 indriyas, the taste, hearing, sight, smell and touch. And the best thing is that all these senses, they are having a specific dominancy of certain elements. So just like the space, hearing. So I think Guruji can tell best that the first was the Brahman. The word was appeared first in this universe. The space from space. The sight, it is controlled or governed by the fire element. The smell from earth, taste from the water, and the touch is with air. We will see a practical application of this particular concept also. So how, because the information is coming, we are receiving through these our senses. So if there is a misinformation or we perceive information in a wrong way, this is going to be a cause of diseases. So in few slides we will see how it happens. So as we know that when we talk about the auditory balance or the sound, it is having relation with the space element, and here the influence of sound vibrations on the nervous system, because you know that Vata is directly linked with our nervous system. So that means the sound used to affect our nervous system. I will just give you one example. Suppose there is a sudden big sound, gunshot. What happens? Our heartbeat used to increase. Our breathing used to increase. So this is the response of our nervous system that used to control our heart. And means everybody might have experienced the impact of the sudden high sound. So, but how we can regulate? Because we know that when some such type of environment is there, I think we can regulate by having the environment with the chanting of mantras, and then listening classical music, because there is a specific pattern and that used to affect our mind. And very interesting fact is that here you will see the chart that the frequency, how the frequency of sound is related with the action of words. So just see on the top, the storytelling. I think in our childhood period, when the grandmother used to narrate any story, we used to sleep. So the lowest frequency the storytelling is having. So this is the way how we can regulate or normalize our this particular input. The visual, here it is connection with the sight and the fire element. So when we see, the first thing is the color we used to perceive. So visual impression, it is not simply affecting a body, it is having great impact over our emotions and the mental status. So somebody likes, I like pink color. So when you see that color, just see the reaction, observe reaction in your body, you becomes happy. So that means if somebody around you, or even the color of your walls, or your clothes, or the clothes of your the spouse, that is affecting you in this way. So here, how we regularize or keep our this particular sense in harmony by the color therapy, by means the light, because again I will just show you how light is important for our life, means the different intensity of light. Tactile means the touch. Here it is concerned with the air or the vayu and of course the akas. You see that air and ether or the space, they form vata. So touch means the person who is having dominancy in his prakriti as a vata, so he will be happy when you just console by touch. So you can know well that if I am just dealing with this person, how he or she will feel. So this is one example here. So that we can promote by, we recommend do self-massage. Of course, the person may be there to offer you massage, but sometimes self-massage is very important. And the second, when we are receiving massage from any therapist, again it is when we are just teaching therapist, so here the touch of that therapist, suppose that therapist is stressed due to any reason, and when he or she touches your body, he or she is transmitting the negative impulses through touch. So that's why it is very important to keep the therapist happy. Then of course the taste, and here the water and earth element, they are dominating, and we know that the water element is concerned with emotions. So that's why it is very interesting. I think you might have gone through some news or articles, especially because these are emotions, related to emotions. And suppose a person who is having dominancy of kapha, means the water and earth element, and the outer impulses are also promoting this, so that means there are full chances of depression. So that's why you can see the environmental means the impact. Mostly the suicides, they are observed in winters, because even in our day-to-day life, when the sun is not there for several days, so we feel little bit depressed. So here, because we can control this sense by mindful eating. Yesterday, Guruji very rightly, he was telling that when you are eating, you should focus your attention on food, not on mobile or TV. Because of course we used to do, but we must try to put the whole attention toward the food. Only then you will enjoy it. Otherwise, it is simply a mechanical task. You are just filling your belly, and it is not simply a food, because with what emotions you are taking food, it is going to affect your mind, and in mind in different states secretes different type of neurochemicals, and those neurochemicals, they circulate in body and affect various organs. So it is not simple task, but ultimately how the body is reacting with positive and negative emotions. That's why, suppose if any time the food is not good, we should hold ourselves. We should not shout the, how is this food, there is no...
Only segment. Thank you.
So because of course, so we must take that, okay, to consider that it is a prasad. I have to take it. Of course, we have to rectify person also. So later on, that can be suggested that do this or not do that. That's why you know that the whole life we are searching for one thing. Whole life, the taste of mother's hand. Everybody. But I think that is the missing part for everybody. Because mother is always serving us food with emotions. So actually we are not searching that food, we are searching those emotions. And that becomes very difficult to get from any other person. Then hearing, it corresponds with the, smell. So here the dominancy of earth element is there, and here again the smell is linked with emotions. I think smell, normally what happens when we perceive any information from our senses, so there all the information goes our brain, it goes through various channels and leads to hypothalamus, very specific part which used to process everything. But this particular sense, smell, it directly goes to hypothalamus, means no barrier. That's why smell is having very high impact. Suppose in your childhood period, you are having a specific experience of a specific smell. So immediately with that smell, several memories and several things get associated. And whenever you just smell that particular aroma, immediately you go back. That's why we just try to create an environment when we are going to meet anybody to, okay, this time this is good, now I will try this one. So that means you are changing your smell. So other person to whom you are going, just going to feel that aroma, it is also changing. So that means you are trying to impress other person through aroma, but due to this frequent change, it is not linked with your personality. That means we have to choose a specific aroma which suits us, means that must be pleasant for us, and use that continuously. So only then that smell will be your identity. And we know that in sense of when we talk about the biology, every male and every female is having his or her own smell. Similarly, the animals also. So they used to identify, even they are closing eyes and you can tell that who is behind you. So that powerful, this sense is there. So here we use aromatherapy, use of essential oils, some natural fragrance to regulate this particular element. But if it is not regulated properly, we can feel several diseases, just like if there is improper vision. In Ayurveda, there is very interesting reason for diseases. Asatma Indri Arth Sanyog means asat means improper. When there is an improper perception, it may be less or it may be over. That means there must be balance. Suppose if you are living in a very noisy area, continuous exposure of the noise in the form of even the music also it may be. That is going to affect your body, and you can see by hearing your vata get out of order and you feel anxiety, even some neurological conditions you may feel. When the sight is means those who are just doing more TV or more screen exposure, so your pitta that gets out of order and it causes the inflammation. And you know that inflammation is a basic cause of our cellular degeneration. And in simple word we can say aging. So aging is not linked with the numbers. Aging is linked with your activities, how you perceive information from external world and how your mind and body is processing. So it is simply reaction. So just like taste, again overusing more pungent or salt or sour taste, we know that when we consume a lot of acidity and different type of pitta related problem used to appear. Touch, here it is very important, less or more. So suppose if you think that touching vata persons give him or her good feeling, but if you are already means you are not leaving the hand and you are touching, it is the over. So just see the impact when it is the insufficient touch, it propagates or it vitiates vata. So you see that if somebody wants to touch the hand and you avoid for that, ultimately it is provoking vata in that person. And that's why some stress, some anxiety, some neurological disorders he or she used to suffer. But when it is in excess, it causes kapha-like issues. That means the person dislikes, okay, just every time you are just holding my hand, just leave me alone. So because excess is not good. And similarly for the smell also, because smell is directly linked, I think everybody might have experience about the allergies, respiratory allergies. So here it is linked with the smell or the earth element. So for treatment, we used to utilize this information, and that is related to kapha. And it is very interesting. I think yesterday we have sent one link to you to find out your prakriti. So now if you are having that, it will be very easy to connect with this information, and even you can customize your lifestyle based on your the prakriti. Prakriti means what inherently you are made up of. We will see later on. Okay, so it is a huge crowd. Where are you? It is difficult to find. And we know that there are animals, different animals, plants and human beings. So we are Homo sapiens. That's why we are different from the animals. But means in spite of being Homo sapien, we are different from other. So even we can identify the person, any person, in a very nice way through Ayurveda. So there is a very nice quote, he who knows others is learned. Normally we just try to know others, but he who knows himself is a wise. So the choice is ours. Now come to the very important aspect, to know ourselves. So the concept of Prakriti, that means the mind-body profiling. We utilize this concept to counsel in any area, whether it may be your learning anything, your profession, your health status, anything we can identify. So what is that? When we talk about Prakriti, what is actually Prakriti? So we know the dosas, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So every person is having all these three, but proportion is different. That's why when you go with that test, you will get the percentage. Of course, it is not the perfect, but of course, you will get some idea that in what proportion you are having dominancy of Vata, Pitta or Kapha. So it is a genetically determined relative proportion of dosas within the normal range. Here I will just share you very good information that this Prakriti is formed at the time of conception. So at the time of conception, whatever Prakriti you get, you have to remain with that. So that means at the time of conception, the parents' Prakriti, that used to play a great role. And here we can engineer that. How? Because that depends on the environmental factor and the diet of parents, the lifestyle, and so many other environmental conditions that we can regulate. So that's why we are having a specific program for better progeny. Because just after conceiving, then just going through the different tests and finding out issues, but then you have to go for some genes repairing and all these costly affairs. But even before that, you can fix issue. Suppose if both the parents, they are having Vata dominancy in Prakriti. So that means if you just recall the Mendel's law. Mendel's law means there is a crossover, and if two parents, they are having the dominancy of Vata, out of 4, 1 will have very high Vata. That means the full chances of Vata disorder. And this is the reason of developmental disorders in children. Because right now what we are experiencing, the incidences of autism is increasing tremendously. So autism is nothing but it is a developmental disorder. And here the lifestyle of parents, especially mother. Because we think that just having baby, it is just a chance, no preparation. So you can modify just preparing yourself or preparing parents. So here the Prakriti is formed, and by knowing Prakriti, we can know about the physical structure of a person, physiological function of that person, and of course psyche of that person, how that person will think, what will be the emotions, how we can handle those emotions. So very right. Subbu is not here, I think. So he said that he said in the I think previous session, he said that I'm having so many ideas and I used to start, but ultimately failure. So this is a peculiar feature of Vata person, because they are having tremendous ideas, original ideas, wonderful ideas, and they are always in hurry to implement, because Vata is having dominancy of space and air. Air is always concerned with the movement. So even these such type of person is very difficult to fix them at one place. So totally unfit for reception, even you can't them. So here you know that you can, when you are choosing a career or any profession, again this Prakriti play a very important role. So you can check me when the time is over, sorry, any time. So broadly, just to know, we are having 7 type of combination, but through AI we have elaborated it, and with the multiple combination permutations we found 6 lakh combination permutation. So now I think we are now in a stage to classify a group of people at up to these levels. I will just show you the how knowing Prakriti, how it is important. Means it helps to personalize your health management, disease susceptibility. Very well it can be said that this person, if he or she is belonging to this Prakriti, that means he or she is susceptible for these diseases and a specific age range. Because I will just share one example here. In 2004, I was having one research project in Texas University, and that was based on the Parkinson's. Because in Parkinson's, when they start some medicine, so after taking medicine, that used to start with milligrams and doses goes up to grams. When with high dose, that used to continue, it affect the system, and mostly they report skin cancers. So they just asked me to fix the issue whether we can pre-identify those people based on Prakriti to know that these persons are more susceptible for the cancer, skin cancer, or change in dosage pattern. So here we can tell the susceptibility of, just like for basic example, if a child is having dominancy of kapha in his Prakriti, that means he is very likely to suffer from respiratory problems, respiratory allergy in childhood period. And it is very difficult to manage. On the other hand, if a Pitta or Vata child is having such type of issue, very easily we can manage. So this tailored study pattern. So we were having one program because our learning pattern is different. Give you one example. Suppose in class, when the teacher used to say something and ask questions, immediately few students they raise hand. Usually these are Vata people, because Vata is linked with the high perception. Very easily they are able to catch the thing, and they can reproduce immediately. But usually they don't get good marks in final exams. The second category is where the kapha is dominating in children. So these children, they get the subject very well when you explain the subject with example. You put example, they will understand the concept. The third category, the Pitta category of children, if you explain the concept with logic, they need not to learn. They will learn the concept forever. So that's why even during the lecture, we use all these 3 methods. Sometimes we tell the story, some example, put some logics, because the group is mixed. But when we teach students, so this is the system we can categorize or customize study pattern through Prakriti. Selection of sports. Again, one example. Suppose a child or is willing to participate or can want to excel in a short-term race or marathon. Here it is, I think, very interesting to know that Vata children, they are good for short distance race because they are having quick start with less energy. So by the time 100 meter is over, their energy gets exhausted. So they are not fit for marathons. For marathons, Kapha people, they are always good because their start is very slow. But they are having endurance, they are having the high level of energy that used to go for more miles. And for Pitta, they are always competitive. Even it is practice match, they used to put their whole effort because even with the practice session, they consider that this is going to be the final match. So this is the way we used to, for stress management, of course, for work-life balance. Here we also take into consideration the workplace. Means just like human being, there is a dominancy of element. Similarly, your colleague, your team members, and the workplace, it is also having a specific dominancy of elements. Just like your color of the walls, means your interior and other things, everything is going to. So here, again, if you are working in a team, it should be complementary. Person belonging to different type of Prakriti. So here it helps selecting sports, your leadership alignment, career path, just like salesman, because you have to talk a lot, you have to convince person. So that means you need some high Vata. I can give you one example. One of my friend, school days friend, he was very good in studies, but he was the only son. That's why his father said, okay, you don't go anywhere, I will just open an electronics shop for you and you just do business. But he was very high Kapha and Pitta. So if somebody comes and say, I need electric iron, so he used to go and simply, this is iron. The good salesman, so everything, tell what is the specification, how it is good for that. So ultimately, he decided to close the shop because nobody likes to visit. So that means it is very essential. Some professionals, they require long hours sitting. So Vata people, you can't expect them to. Every time you will see they are out. So a specific person for a specific Prakriti. By this way, we can, even for our team, we can customize. For time management also, because Kapha people, they always think that there is too much time. What is hurry? We will do it. Just keep it. What is the deadline? So these Kapha people, they work with the deadlines. When the last time is there, only then they are active. So with the one example for the relationship, which type of means normally we match horoscope for marriage, but we propose to match your Prakriti to get better partner. So if you want to have a short-term relationship, means the similar type of Prakriti is the best, because similarity immediately attracts. But you know that it causes the boredom. थोड़े दिन में it will you will be bored. Okay, you are just boring. But what happens when the difference is there? Of course, initially it may be some difficult time, but it always sustains. So because they used to complement each other. Initially, of course, ego may be there, some clashes may be there, some conflicts may be there, but by passing the time, when you know the strength of each other, it goes a long way. So when we are dissatisfied with the career, it affects our relationship, family, friends, our mental health, our physical health, and ultimately for a executive, they always think about productivity. So that get affected. I think within 5 minutes, important slide I will just show. It is simply linked with the not simply the work life, but also the workplace environment is very crucial to have the this one. So here I have just 6 career paths which engineers require, which type of the Prakriti combination, so that they will be able to excel in their profession. So I can provide you the printout of this. I can share this. So this is the one study we did in IIM Ahmedabad, because in India, Indian Institute of Management of Ahmedabad is the leading or pioneering institute. So we did this study how we can utilize Prakriti concept in the management, and we are having a very good replacement of MBTI scale, Myers-Briggs type indicator, because that scale is used by the all big management house. So one thing is very important, regulating your, so these are different procedures, this one, your dosa cloth. Because you know that in our body we are having a specific combination of dosa. This environment is also having a specific impact of dosa. So just like we will talk about that this morning 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. that is the time of Vata. And that's why due to this high Vata, these birds, they need not to set alarm clock, because that is they aligned with the nature. So Vata is linked with the activity. So you becomes active. And this is the time, the most fertile time, is the most productive time when you think about any new idea. So the Vata people or any person, they get mostly the best new idea in this particular time zone, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. and then 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. because this cycle used to revolve in 2 half. First 12 hours, then second 12 hours. Second 2 to 6 to 10, it is time for kapha. And from 10 to again 2, it is time for pitta. And we utilize this knowledge even for business purpose. For example, suppose if you know the Prakriti of your business partner to whom you have arranged some meeting, and you suppose you both are of Pitta Prakriti. So Pitta is concerned with the fire, and fire, you know that the mental fire, you can imagine, means very easily you can get agitated or irritated, or you can be out of mind. So suppose that time you select, chosen to have a dinner meeting, lunch meeting, and then you will discuss some business issue. Definitely, and both the person they belongs to Pitta Prakriti, definitely there are very high chances to end up with a conflict. And unfortunately, if you order for some spicy food, it is going to put means ghee into fire. So this way we suggest to business houses, when according to your requirement, according to your ideas, according to several things, considering several how you should plan the meeting. And it is always better by any way to know the prakriti of your the partner, means the business partner. So a lot of things means simply the essence is this is the study that happens in 400 executives in US itself. They observe that even the morning time that is dominating with kapha and pitta, that is the most productive time, because pitta is related to action. That's why in office, when you reach office at 10, means your kapha time is over and your pitta time is started. So in the morning, don't see the routine files. You have to take decisions, because at that time your pitta is high and pitta is linked with the logic. So your logical mind is very active at that time. So you can take decision. Of course, when kapha time is there in second half, you can hold meetings, simply meet, because in meetings only few people they speak, some others they just listen and make decisions. So of course, early bird always catch the worm. So we must try to leave bed as early as possible. So a lot of things are there. I think we have to just wind up, because again I try to put a lot of things in within short span of time, and we know that the diet is more important, because we are just proceeding for dinner, lunch. So here Ayurveda says, when diet is wrong, when your diet is not appropriate, medicine is of no use. I mean, when your diet is not proper, and there is no need of medicine, because it is not going to work properly. When diet is correct, medicine is of no need. Once you are having a proper diet, you are not going to fall ill. That's why there is no requirement of medicine. So whether your diet is correct or not, taking medicine depends on your diet. So that's why we should be very peacefully, we have to enjoy our food, whatever food we receive. And this is, I think, very practical a tip. So when you are just going for lunch or dinner or taking food, always choose a small plate, because with the same amount you can see it looks full, because it is our always apprehension, I need more, so we have to full. So this is by a study, it is a scientific fact that if you adopt this particular way of just fixing the quantity of food, it is going to increase 1 hour of productivity each day, not each month or a week. So this is so powerful method. I think with this I will just say thank you to all of you.